Today, we're going to discuss the 3 biggest questions I get about anxiety. These questions come up all the time, and I'm sure some or all these questions are on your mind. So let's unpack them and give you the answers you need to move forward in your recovery. Let's begin. Okay, so the first question I get asked all the time is, can anxiety really create all these strange and intense symptoms? I mean, can anxiety really make your heart race, make you feel dizzy, create derealization, stomach issues, and all sorts of other things? The short answer is yes, it absolutely can. But let me explain why. All right, the reason you're experiencing anxiety right now is because you have an overactive and sensitized nervous system. What this means is that your body is engaging its built-in alarm system, which is also called your fight or flight response, unnecessarily. I want you to think of this as your survival response. Think back to our ancient ancestors who lived vastly different lives than us. For them, they were likely to encounter physical external dangers like lions or tigers. So our bodies adapted to have this survival response. In other words, your brain will see a threat and it hits the panic button, which floods your body with adrenaline and stress hormones. This prepares you to either confront the danger head on or make a quick escape. So fight the threat or flee to safety. Unsurprisingly, your heart races, your breathing rate picks up, and your senses sharpen. And these are all biological responses designed to help you act swiftly. It's a fantastic system when there's an actual threat present. But with anxiety, this response gets triggered when you're not in any actual danger. Then all you're left with is just these intense physical symptoms. You have the panic, the racing heart, and the dizziness, but there's no actual threat to deal with. So to answer the question, it is your fight or flight response that is creating all these strange and intense sensations that you're experiencing. I want you to see this as great news because what it means is that we only have one problem to deal with. You don't need to worry about getting rid of 10 or 20 different symptoms. Instead, your entire focus can shift to desensitizing your nervous system so that all these symptoms go away. Now, on to the second question. Why did I develop anxiety? What I'm getting asked is, why did anxiety begin to significantly impact my life? All right, fortunately, the answer to this question is straightforward. The reason you developed a problem with anxiety is consistent with everyone who suffers with anxiety. Here's what I want you to stop doing. Stop worrying about how your anxiety started. I don't care whether it started during a stressful period in your life, if it began after consuming too much alcohol or marijuana, or if it seemed to start out of nowhere. It doesn't matter. That no longer has any bearing on why you have anxiety today. The reason you're suffering from anxiety right now is because you fell into what I call the anxiety trap. Here's how it works. The anxiety trap is a vicious cycle where you became fearful of your anxiety sensations. This fear signals to your brain that you are in danger, which causes your body to release more adrenaline and stress hormones in an effort to keep you safe. What does that do? That increases the intensity of your anxiety. So your anxiety or panic gets worse, your heart palpitations get more intense, and the derealization that you've been feeling makes you feel even more out of it. When that happens, you become even more fearful and afraid of these sensations. Now, this is a vicious, never-ending cycle that keeps you trapped with anxiety. And if we break it down into its simplest form, it's fear, adrenaline, sensations, fear. Like I said, it's a never-ending cycle that keeps you trapped with anxiety. But the key element is fear. And I want you to notice how fear is at the start and the end of the anxiety trap. Fear is what keeps you trapped with anxiety. So why do we become fearful of anxiety? Well, because our anxiety can feel dangerous. It can feel threatening and it can feel even harmful. But to recover from anxiety, we have to lose our fear of anxiety. That's why the name of this channel is Fearless Anxiety. If you want to learn more about how to lose your fear and fully recover, I've put the 5-step cure to anxiety and panic attacks in the link below. It's free and it's going to break down how you're going to recover and get back to normal. All right, let's talk about the third question. When will I recover? This is the big one, right? Well, here's the good news. You're going to feel a heck of a lot better as soon as you lose your fear of anxiety, which is going to happen very soon. Losing your fear of anxiety means you've exited the anxiety trap. So you are no longer fueling your anxiety with fear. What this also means is that you've stopped caring about how anxiety makes you feel. So if anxiety creates that nervous energy that's in the pit of your stomach, you don't care. If anxiety makes your heart feel like it's beating out of your chest, it doesn't bother you. And if anxiety creates derealization, you find it amusing. In other words, the sensations will still be there, but you won't be bothered by them. This is when everything changes, and it's a huge milestone in recovery. Now, a full recovery, which is the complete absence of all sensations, will take a bit more time, but that's where you're heading. What's going to happen is your nervous system will eventually calm down and desensitize after you lose your fear of it. As it does, your sensations appear less often and with less intensity. Then, one day, you're no longer going to have any sensations at all. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to hit the notification button so you're notified when a new episode is released. Also, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you hit the like button if you enjoyed this episode. It really helps the channel grow. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode.